coordinated. Hey everyone.
Hey.
Hey, it's Gary here and my lovely stepdaughter Hannah. How you doing today? We are here, the Eye Opener Society, with our little special episode. This here one is being recorded on October 16th, 2023, and we're going to save this for a little bit of a later date, but we have a great guest on our show today, but wanted to get a few things out of the way. Don't forget our website. Please go on our website, sign up for emails whenever any of our podcasts or shows come on. You'll be instantly notified. eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. Again, eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. And we're also on YouTube. Got a bunch of stuff. I started doing some meditation advice. There's a whole playlist going on right now. I'm going to do about 10 of those episodes, and they're really quick. So just search Eye Opener Society on YouTube, and this here very podcast as well is going to be up on YouTube as well. And real quick, I wanted to give a quick shout out because I just had a slice.
Serpico's
Pizza,
in Sparks, Maryland. They are located, oh goodness, right? I forget that
10 feet away in Sparks, Maryland, 21152. Listen, if you're like me, I'm from the New York area, Bronx, New York, the real Bronx, real pizza. You can't get it out here. I live in Southern Pennsylvania. The trip into Maryland is not that bad, so it's definitely worth it to go to Serpico's Pizza if you're in the area.
The Sparks location specifically, they are just pure Italians there. I got the pizza today, and I picked it up and I like walked in and they're just full blown, just Italian, like, and it's amazing. The pizza is just top notch. So yeah, check them out. Great, fair price. They got amazing lunch specials too. So
the closest you're going to get to New York pizza. And that's just what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, it'll never be the same, but they are the closest. Free shout out to them just for the hell of it. All right. So listen, our show today, we have a live guest coming in. Her name is Jennifer, and she's with Tea Leaf Readings in the Valley. She's going to tell us all about what she does, and we find it fascinating. Yes. We really do. We've been waiting for this interview. It's just something that's near and dear to me because I like to get the word out to people that have their own little businesses, and especially people who have these gifts, these talents, whenever it comes to divination and all. But she does tea leaf readings as well as wax readings. And she's going to tell us a whole host of stuff. I really have the pleasure to introduce to you a great friend here, Jennifer. Jennifer should be coming inside of the room any second now.
Yep. And just a little backstory when how we met Jennifer is we went to a festival. It was called the Starseed Festival. It was in, what is it, Boylsburg,
yeah,
Pennsylvania. And it was like an immediate draw to her table. I kind of just bypassed all these tables and went right to her table. It was just like an energy draw. So we were really excited. You know, we shot our shot and we gave her our card, and now here we are recording a podcast with her. Hey, Jennifer.
Jennifer, how you doing?
It was the candles. They're like so bright. I mean, I actually have a couple back here. That's probably what drew you. Energy, I don't know, but the candles, everyone flocks over and looks at them and they're like, they're so pretty. I can't burn them. I'm like, they're for burning. Please do.
Yeah.
I try to get people to send stuff onto my Facebook page with them burning their candles, and no one has done it. I'm like,
all right.
Crossed that maybe someday I'll get, pictures like, oh, burning this candle.
Yeah.
Well, so Jennifer, you are with Tea Leaf Readings in the Valley. What can you tell us about Tea Leaf Readings, and just tell us about you and what you do, and go ahead and promote yourself.
Oh, okay. So Tea Leaf Readings in the Valley, I actually don't have a shop. We just travel around to different events. And when I say we, I mean my husband and I. He helps man the candle stuff, and I do tea leaf readings. So basically what tea leaf readings are is I will give you a cup of tea. It's a loose leaf tea. You can either do black or green tea, or metropolitan green tea, or Girl Gray that I use. And then basically you have to drink it with no milk or sugar. If you're right-handed, you'll drink with your left hand. If you're left-handed, you'll drink with your right. The dominant hand is not the intuitive hand. Your intuitive hand is the one that you don't use often. I honestly think it's because you don't touch a lot of stuff and you're not being tainted by the world with that hand. So you're going to use that hand to, ask your question. And so when you're done drinking it, we do a little bippity boppity boop and you put it on the saucer and hand it to me. And then I read it. It's kind of like looking at clouds. If you were like a kid laying down, looking at the sky, you would make out pieces. Like you just know, like that's a heart or that's a dinosaur. So it's kind of like that. You do have to go off a little bit of gut intuition when you first just look at it. If you have to search around for it, it could go either way. My grandmother's the one that taught me to do this. And her grandmother, it's kind of passed down in our family, like to the women in our family, like generational. My mom had no interest in it. So when I showed interest, my grandmother was ecstatic. Because she was like, I didn't know who was going to take on this because my grandmother taught me and my mom had no interest. And she was like, I was hoping one of you girls would be interested in it. So here I am.
Right. So tea leaf readings in the valley. And so you travel around on these events and stuff like that. And I know you got a Facebook page. That's where most people could reach out to you as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. I do sometimes have business cards if I don't forget to pick them up. I actually have a friend who makes them. Usually have my number on it, but yeah, Facebook is the best way to get a hold of me. Especially on Messenger. You can even leave a comment on Facebook. I usually try to keep up with that, on a regular basis, every day, 2 times a day, maybe. It just
Gotcha.
depends.
And we will definitely leave links for everybody that's listening out there for the Facebook page if anybody does want to contact Jennifer. Because Jennifer, aside from the tea leaf readings, I mean, you do these here candles and you do other crafts and all as well.
Yeah, honestly, whatever I can get my hands on. If if I feel like making jewelry that day, I'll make it. If it's good, I will take it to an event. If it's not, I'll mess around with it some more and maybe it'll become good or maybe it will become, thrown in the fire, at the house. Just a little starter.
Gotcha.
It depends.
Great. So I'm fascinated with the tea leaf readings because I've always been into different forms of divination and I'm still trying to find my form yet. We talked a little bit before the show and trying to explain, like, it's not just tea leaf readings that you do, you do the wax readings and all. And tell us what
Yeah,
else you do.
wax readings. I do some ovomancy, which is basically a cup of water. You crack an egg into it and you watch it sink to the bottom. There's tells with that. If egg shell gets in there, if your yolk is encased, these all mean things. And not a lot of people know how to do ovomancy. It's how would you say it, like egg oracle or egg readings. There is a thing called egg cleanses and that's a little bit different, and that is something I also do, but I haven't done one in a really long time. I actually started learning all this stuff when I was about 15, 16. My grandmother, when I showed interest in doing that stuff, she was a wealth of divination knowledge. So
Okay.
there's a lot of forms of divination. I mean, the list goes on. Those are some of the things I know how to do. Um, I actually recently just ran into someone that did water and oil. And
Okay.
I was really interested in that, but I was so busy that I didn't get everything that, this person was saying. And literally, it was a really big bowl with a big jar of oil that they poured in. And I was really intrigued by that, but nothing came of that because, like I said, I was busy. But yeah, so
So
you're looking for forms of divination yourself, right?
That's
Um,
correct. Yeah.
so what are you drawn to? Like I always tell people they should go with what they're drawn to.
I'm drawn to scribing.
Okay.
That's what I've been wanting to get. I too, I just haven't really found the time. I'm in the right space mentally to do it, I believe. I just haven't really sat. And again, it's equipment and you finding the stuff that's going to talk to me, and I actually get a good connection with, and then being able to do it. And I'm the type that I want to do it outdoors because I'm much more comfortable outdoors. I have this whole idea in my head. So once I get started, that's, scribing is what I would like to get into.
Oh, anything for you, Hannah? Like, do you have any like draws to any of divination or
No, I don't actually. I
next?
know you're like, um, with me, I think when it comes to me, like with the whole, like everything with like the metaphysical and just anything like that, I think I'm drawn to like being empathetic for people. Because I feel people's energy and I feel people's emotions very strongly and I can match them, but it's just something like there's like a strong gift inside me that um I feel like I'm like a fixer, like I'm a healer. I need to heal people in the emotional aspects of themselves. So
Oh,
yeah.
no, that's okay. Like, some people are like they feel really drawn to it. Some people have other interests.
Mhm.
I don't know how you'd say it, spiritual wise.
Yeah,
So there's nothing really, I mean, I don't think there's anything negative with like not being like drawn to like anything
like a
specific.
craft, you could say. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just some people are into it, some people aren't. Like some people are into sports, some people aren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yep. Now her mom, my wife there, she is highly intuitive. I mean,
Hmm.
extremely. And for a long time, I'm always trying to get her to look into it more. Her problem is, I think, more or less, she's fearful of it because
Hmm.
she doesn't understand it at all. She doesn't understand what a great gift she actually has. So it's still something we're trying to work into with her.
Actually, there's a I'm Scottish. In our background, there's a lot of spiritual divination type forms, and what you're describing is this thing that I've always heard of called the sight, where you're very intuitive. You might see visions, like you might see it happening in your head and it happens, or you might feel it very strongly.
That's me.
And it's a thing called the sight. Um, and I want to say it's kind of like the third eye, but a lot goes into it than just like seeing stuff. It's like feeling. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just something that's kind of overwhelming, and you just know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's her
it's called the
mom.
sight.
I
She
guess I
should
get
really.
that from my mom because
Yeah.
I get that same feeling. I get that like I dream something and it could be years apart from when the actual event happens, but it'll go down to what the person was wearing. I have it exactly in my head from the dream that happened in my like, and it could be days, months, years. So my mom's the same way.
You guys should really look into it. It's called the sight.
Okay.
Uh, that's all I really, I don't know much about it. I just know some things about it. I know that it's handed down to women. And I've heard people talk about it, and I'm not very eloquent with talking. Even during tea readings, I am just kind of like, you know, it takes me a minute to actually like think of something, clever to say. And then finally, I'm just like, damn it, this is how it is. Sorry,
Mhm.
it's not clever or, eloquently said, but, you should definitely look into that.
Mhm.
It's pretty interesting.
Okay. Now, with your tea leaf readings, what's fascinating is the fact that this is something you learned from something that was actually passed down, and this is a generational thing. And I find that more fascinating because I mean, people realize, hey, I have this gift, I have this talent, or some people just practice it and, you're able to do it. But when it's handed down, I think there is so much more of a connection from that.
Yeah, it does, but honestly, when I do tea leaf readings, I feel closer to my nana. She passed away, um, and it's just it's something that makes me feel actually closer to my heritage because it has been passed down. I do get questions like where I learned it, and I tell people I'm like my nana taught me, and they're like, oh, well that makes it more legit, and I'm like, I mean, you can learn this from a book too.
Mhm.
It's just I haven't found a good book because I have friends who bring me books um on this subject and they're like, "Hey, is this pretty accurate?" And I'm like, "Well, first off, every tea leaf reader has their own style. And this isn't really giving you information on how to do it. It just shows you what symbols mean. And you know, each area, a symbol means something different, like how do I say this? Like Southern Europe people might not have the same type of style of tea reading as someone that lives in Northern Europe or Scotland. Even here in America, we have a different style, and it's all basically where you were taught. And if it was passed down or if you taught yourself. So, with it being taught from a person to another person, there's things that do get lost. Um, but it honestly, you feel closer to your heritage and you feel, I think it's more like you feel like you just know when someone teaches you and helps you learn that instead of teaching yourself. I do know people that have tried to teach themselves and they just kind of have given up. And I always suggest, trying to find someone that lives close to you that's willing to pull you on and mentor you and teach you. Because there's a lot that goes into it than just reading symbols and reading them together. You got to go off gut and you got to know what to tell them and what not to tell them and how to tell them because some people you can tell don't respond well to super negative information.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to tell them like, hey, it's this isn't in stone yet. You have time to change it. It's more of a warning because I've had people leave immediately crying because they thought that, this was going to happen. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you can change this. You don't have to, this is a warning. Keep your eyes out for certain things that could happen. Um, and that goes in with someone teaching you like what and how to say something because, you don't want someone to like ruin their whole life just on a tea leaf reading
Yeah.
or you know
Mhm. This is a lot now, like tarot card readings, oracle card readings. I mean, obviously, there's a big difference, but someone going into this, they have questions, as far as life journey or future or past. This is almost the same.
yeah, I mean a lot of people are coming to you for answers. Sometimes you can't give them that answer. When you're holding your teacup, it's really taking in your energy, your intuition, your intention. And if you have a lot going on in your life, it's going to pick up on everything. It's not going to just pick up on like a question. That's why I always say, when you're drinking your tea, maybe think, how does my future look? Or what does the next couple months look like? And, you know, sometimes people don't like that. They want really definite answers because they're in a very vulnerable place. And sometimes you just can't give them a straight yes or no answer. Um, and I know that sometimes irritates them a little bit because you can't give them that answer. Um, and they also expect it to be another form of divination. And the most popular one, tarot, they expect that experience to be like tarot because I think tarot has it's a little bit more definitive. With tea reading, you might not know who the person might be close to you, doing something hinky. Sometimes you'll see like initials or numbers that might associate that person or that time or, address. Um, but a lot of people really want, some type of answer.
Mhm.
And that's why they come to you. And that also opens a whole gate for people who are nefarious and don't have your best interests and will try to take information to commit fraud
Mhm.
or you know sneak into bank accounts. So I always tell people, especially when they come to me the first time, if they've never had it done, if they ever want to go back and get any more type of divination, like if someone's asking you like personal information, like your first dog that you ever had, their name, or like the street you used to live on, or anything like that, don't give them that kind of information because that is a person that's scamming you. And it's very easy to be scammed because you're in a vulnerable state when you're going to people that do readings, you know, uh, tarot, oracle, ovomancy, anybody that does a reading, you know, people usually are feeling in a vulnerable place when they're coming to you.
I think with
So
that, it's like people have to realize, like, people like yourself, it's a gift. It's not like you said, people can grab a book and, you know, try to teach themselves, but with you, it's like it comes from your heritage. It's a gift. And there's just unfortunately people out there who use faking having a powerful gift to scam people. So I think it is very important that people have like a warning out there that just these people with these gifts, like, they're never going to ask you for that information because their gifts are legit. They can
right.
get that information from their practice, from their craft.
Yes. And the reason I mentioned this is because you know, like you guys asked for, you know, if people usually come wanting answers, and you know, I feel like I really have to put that out there. Because I actually have people that have never had readings that come and they look very nervous, and I'm talking to them, and I don't ask them a lot of questions, and they're like, is there things that you need to know? And I'm like, no. I'm like, whatever you want to ask, you keep that to yourself while you're drinking your tea. I'm like, if you ever go back and get another one, I always, I very much warn them, like, if people are asking you stuff like that, get up and walk away, because they're frauds and they're going to try to use that information.
Mhm.
Right. And for your own benefit too, tea leaf readings in the Valley. And this goes on because when we met in Jennifer and all, and right after that, we had the whole thing here in Pennsylvania, because you're located in Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we have the whole Article 18. It's
Yeah.
basically, and I know this, and it's been popping up on the news, and exactly what you're talking about. This is an actual law. It's stating anybody who promotes any sort of divination, oracle, tarot, tea leaf readings, it's for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
I don't know how many of you guys have been following me. When I first started reading tarot cards and all, I had a whole podcast talk on this. I like to go down a whole nother road because it bothers me. I get it, just for the same reasons which you were saying. Yeah, it's buyer beware. If you
Yeah.
to give up all of your information, I feel that's on you, really. But at the same time, we have churches, even in the whole Catholic religion with the book Genesis, it's predicting a future. You walk into any church, there's no sign saying for entertainment purposes only. And it really
Yeah.
excludes certain people under certain spiritual beliefs and certain religious beliefs. I don't really believe it. Is it there to protect people? Yes, maybe. But when we're telling people like you, who obviously have a gift, this was passed on through generations, to stick a label saying for entertainment purposes only cheapens you, in my opinion.
Yeah, it makes it look chintzy. It makes it look like you're just setting up, trying to get a dollar from somebody and going, "Ooh," and being very theatrical. And it really does. It looks chintzy. I actually started putting a sign up myself, just because I didn't think I needed to. I mean, I already knew that fortune telling was illegal in Pennsylvania because my grandmother, she made it very clear to me. And I didn't think, I thought, kind of like you thought, buyers beware. I didn't think people would be so crusty to report other people for doing that. I'm like, if we're going down that route, I guess all state police should be at the doors of every church, because they're promising things too.
Yeah.
And I'm not against any type of religion or spiritual, anything really, but I think, like, it does, like you say, it cheapens. It really cheapens. And
Yes.
people
Yeah.
that haven't had this done before, they're going to see that and they're going to be like, this is some fake
Crap. Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. I,
And
I listen, I do feel for you. I could go on forever on the laws, but if you are out there and if you are the type of person that just wants to report people, shame on you. That's how I feel. I really and truly say shame on you, because there are people out here. It's not so much just about making a living. People that are in the spiritual world are the ones that are really trying to help. Like Hannah tries to heal. You try and give people answers to questions about their life. And like I said, to cheapen it this way, it goes against my grain. It really does. But
It
that's
does.
just me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll let you feed off of that.
It does, because when people come to you, they are in a vulnerable state, but you're giving them energy, they're giving you energy. It's kind of like you're just hanging out. Um, back in the 1800s, when tea parlors were open, it was kind of like to bring morale up and sit around and look in teacups and see what they saw, and it was kind of just like a gathering. And when you see those signs, it kind of cheapens just the spiritualness and the connection with other people, because in the back of their minds they're thinking, are you an entertainer, or are you gifted? I
Yeah.
know that it has to be in the back of their mind, and they probably think that you're just tacky, and it's just
Yeah.
And I think what people forget about like people with like a craft like yourself, it's like a gift, and they forget that it takes your spiritual energy out of you to perform, not even perform, that's not even a proper word for that, to use your gift to help them. Like you're, and I feel like like people forget that, and when it's looked at as cheap, it's insulting, because like I said, you're using your gifts energy to provide them with, you know like you said, they come to you vulnerable, so you're giving them kind of stability, and it's just it's so like devastating to me that people don't kind of put that sense together.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, I'm not gonna blame anybody for thinking that. I mean, because you have to put the signs up, because legally I'm not getting my butt thrown in jail for it.
Yeah.
But it also, in a way, because I don't own a shop, I just travel. I try to stick with the traveler, theme of fortune telling. But I'd like to get a shop, but that's on a whole other level. Um, so it kind of adds to not having a shop, in a way, for me, especially because it kind of makes me look like kind of like a shyster in a way.
Yeah.
um and I know people want to say travelers or gypsies kind of already have that
Stigmata
image.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when you see that, it does it kind
Yeah.
of, it's still cheap. It
Mhm.
does.
So you've been doing tea leaf readings for how long?
Since I was like, I started when I was about 15, and it took me a good 2 years to get it down. So around
Okay.
17, I didn't start actually practicing till I was over the age of 18, because um my grandmother did not want me to do that to my friends. First off, she didn't want me getting in trouble. She didn't want to have angry phone calls from parents complaining to her. So I, and I didn't really do anything with it until a while, I would say around, my college years, 26, 27.
Okay.
And I kind of just like walked into owning tea leaf readings in the Valley like this year. I was with a friend, actually. We were at this thing called a witch's brew at an antique shop in Jennerstown. Um, when it was 1806 Uniques and Antiques that actually sold. Um, and we were at this witch's brew, and a friend of mine, we went and we were talking. I'm like, wouldn't this be cool if we had like tea leaf reading, because we were being served tea. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I actually know how to do that. And the owner overheard me, and we started talking, and she actually was the person that got me going with this. She was just like, would you like to come and read? And so in February I started doing readings at her place. And then it kind of just snowballed. I kind of got really back into it. It made me feel closer to my grandmother. It was
You
it
awakened
felt
your
right.
gift.
Yeah. And my love for it, actually, it
Yeah.
just, because I really tried my hardest to fit in with normal society and having like a regular job. Like I said, I went to college, I have a degree, and I'm not even using it. And I'm actually the happiest I've been in my life, just being
Good
able
for
to like
you.
share this with people. So
Mhm. That's
been
great. And that's the best part of it, though. You know, when people have that happiness, you find your calling and you know what it is that you really
yeah.
want. That makes me happy.
It's yeah, it's a good feeling, and I actually am really happy that people are interested in it, and I'm actually
Mhm.
happy that I'm on here, actually being able to share,
Mhm.
myself a little bit, weirdness
Certainly.
and all.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jennifer, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for
We
having me.
appreciate absolutely
Yes.
tea leaf readings in the valley. There's going to be links all over
Yeah,
the synopses. We'll definitely have all that. Is there any phone numbers or anything you want to give
Website or
out,
anything like that.
website or?
usually just to get a hold of me on Messenger.
Mhm.
That's probably the best way.
Okay.
I'm always losing my phone. I either have my tablet or my cell phone around, and I either have one or the other. Um, yeah, that's
Okay.
probably the best way. I do have business cards. I don't even have one with me right now.
It's okay.
Um, and I usually just hand those out at shows. And they do have my phone number on it, but usually people get a hold of me on social media.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
so tea leaf readings in the
The
valley
valley.
on Facebook. Again, I'll have Jennifer's links up there for sure. And I want everybody that's listening, again, supporting small businesses. It doesn't mean going there and you have to buy something. I never say that. At least go on the page, check it out, see if it fits you. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is, just go ahead and do it. Do it as a favor to other small businesses
Mhm.
because people are out there are struggling. Even people that have great jobs are struggling these days. So take it to level of a small business. Go like, follow page, and then definitely if it's something that interests you, go to these people because even though it says for entertainment purposes only, that's just required by law.
It's a bunch of
People,
bullshit.
it's a bunch of
it
bullshit.
is.
People like Jennifer have gifts, they have talents, they do practice. It's very near and dear, like in Jennifer's case where this is something handed down generationally. These are the people you want to go to. You don't want to
Yep.
go to the phony ones. So definitely check her out. uh so we will be in touch, Jennifer,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
We want to try and catch you again at any of your next events, and we could probably do something live again. We'll definitely follow you there on Facebook and follow all of your events coming up. And we too want a tea leaf reading. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Me too.
dying for that. It's
Yeah, I
definitely
would love
something I
to give
want to
you guys
do.
one. It's experience. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's when it's a good reading, you know that you connect with the people that you're reading with, and it's kind of like your energy feeds off each other. It's a really good time. Yeah, all my events are on Facebook. I
Okay,
usually try
cool.
to leave a little bulletin up every so often, or promote the events that I'm going to be attending. I think my next one is actually the Skyline Haunted Skyline at Lakemont, and that's on Fridays and Saturdays. And I think the next one is called the Witching Hour Serenade, and that's at Sinking Valley. It's actually from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. It's like a vendors and live bands, and it's a big bash.
Wow.
It's a really good time. So those are the next ones I have coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Jennifer, for being on the show. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So everybody, that there was Jennifer. She's from Tea Leaf Readings in the Valley. Be sure to check her out. Be sure to follow her page. Be sure to go on her Facebook. See any events that's coming up. Maybe you get to meet her, get a tea leaf reading yourself. See the other crafts that she has too as well. And follow along with us again. EyeOpenerSociety.onpodium.co. We're going to have a lot more coming up. Hannah and I, we got some other things we want to discuss, future episodes. We always got something in store for everybody. So stay tuned, and definitely we will be in touch. And everybody, enjoy your day, night, whatever. Have a great time.
See ya.